Hello everyone, how are you all doing? Welcome to today's live video. Like I earlier mentioned, for today's video I'll be talking about the experience working in Thailand as a teacher of color. Many of you are making your way into the kingdom to work here as teachers, but you have very little knowledge as to the reality of what life is here in Thailand as a black teacher. To find out more on this, I urge you to keep watching. And of course, I will discuss about our salary expectation and visa application as far as working in Thailand is concerned. Sit tight and invite your friends to join the live session. If you are a returning subscriber, thanks for joining. If you are a new subscriber, please keep watching because I want to urge you that there is a lot you will learn from this channel. Alright, so to start with the issue of working in Thailand as a black teacher or a person of color, what I want you to understand is I wouldn't want us to say that the country is racist. No, I want you to think back into the issue of native and non-native speakers of English because the whole discrimination and negative experiences in the kingdom as a black teacher all boils down to this aspect of recruiting native and non-native English speakers. Most schools around the country would rather have a native English speaker because they believe someone who is a native speaker can easily do the job as compared to a non-native speaker of English. That is the pivotal point as far as discrimination in recruitment policies is concerned within the kingdom. And again, if you look at the business side of it, most schools and language centers would rather take a native English speaker because this group of persons command higher salaries. The fact is, the government as well, and even parents, they wouldn't have any qualms paying higher salary to a native speaker or a blonde hair, blue eyes or teacher from Europe or America. But then when it comes to person of color, they always have this innate doubt because they don't very much believe in the ability of persons of colors. And if you want to look at the very conception of this ideology, it boils down to the culture of the country. Like if you read the history of Thailand, I've bothered to Google search some of the history in the kingdom, like what happened that people in these countries are having issues with black skin or dark skin. It all boils down to the history. Historically, they believe that persons with darker skin tone are often poor. So if you're dark, your color is associated to poverty. So the whole ideology of being discriminatory towards persons of color stems from the very culture of the country. Okay, back to the main points. As a new teacher here, you will witness discrimination due to your color in three aspects as far as employment in the kingdom is concerned. If you go through the popular website of teachers recruitment in Thailand, that is ajan.com, you get to realize that almost 90% of employers there are looking for native teachers or white to teach. There is very little room for non-native speakers or persons of color. That is the first aspect you realize. And since as many of these employers are looking for white skins, recruitment agencies like language centers tend to dance by this tune because they wouldn't want to run out of business at the end of the day due to the fact that they can't provide a white teacher or a native English speaker. This accounts to the discrimination towards colored persons or non-native English speakers. Sometimes qualification doesn't matter, although I must emphasize there are some recruitment agencies that don't practice discriminatory practices, like they recruit teachers based on their qualification and skills irrespective of your nationality. But majority of these recruiters follow the trend, what the parents want or what the school wants. So you have to be aware of this fact. Many of the jobs you will apply for as a non-native English speaker or a person of color wouldn't be successful. The priority is always on white teachers or native English speakers. Be aware of this. And the best way to control your emotion about this is for you to be patient. Just be patient. As time goes on, you will definitely have a job that will accept and appreciate you. The second aspect of discrimination, which you might see as a person of color, is in terms of paid package. Most white teachers or native English speakers command almost the same salary. Like a school is willing to pay a native English speaker 35,000, and they will pay that same amount to a non-native English speaker who is from Europe, thanks to his or her whiteness. But for non-native or persons of color, they wouldn't pay that such amount. Like the salary drops down right to almost 60%. If we want to represent figures here, white native English speakers will command 35,000 plus, but non-native English speakers or persons of colors might command 23 to 25,000. That is a disparity. It's huge. The gap is huge. Again, they do this because they will argue like parents do not pay much salary for persons of color or non-native English speakers. As somebody who is willing to live and work in the kingdom long term, you have to be able to like accept this situation and try to see how to deal with it as long as you're living here, because the reality is you can't change the situation. This situation has been ongoing long time in the past, and you will definitely live in it. You will live and go. Your younger ones will come and still meet the same situation. We are hoping that things change as time goes by. So expect little salary as compared to your white colleague or native English speaker, and do not bother much about the whole situation. The next aspect that you may witness as far as your nationality and skin tone is concerned is workload. Again, it's disheartening to see that white teachers or native English speakers command higher salary, but their workload is less as compared to what you, a non-native English speaker or a person of color, will have. You have less salary, but your workload is more. Welcome to Thailand. That's the reality. Yeah, less salary, but the workload is more. Do not be surprised if you gauge at your white colleague teaching schedule and you realize that he or she has less teaching hours as compared to yours. Again, you have to like put yourself together and see how you're dealing with the whole situation. I want to emphasize that there is a reason, or should I say reasons, why you came to Thailand. Be focused on your goals. Let these disparities do not disturb you in any way. Don't allow these disparities to affect your emotion, though. Try to look at the whole situation. Instead of getting angry and grumpy about it, see how you can accept the situation and live with it. Have a thick skin, that's the word that we use. Have a thick skin. These things shouldn't bother you much and everything will be okay. The last aspect that you may witness as far as discrimination is concerned is acceptance. You will be surprised that wherever you're working, the school, the staff, students, and parents might not completely open their minds to welcome you. There are lots of reasons for this. Different people or different behavior, right? Not everyone will accept you for whom you are. There will always be people at one end who feels like you are not qualified or fit for the job, and there will be others that will appreciate you. Do not go there thinking that everybody will love you or everybody will welcome you with an open arms. No, rather focus on your task. Focus on the very reason why you were employed for that job, and do not bother much about the opinion of people. Go to work, do your job, go home and get paid. Not everybody at your job site is your friend. Have this in mind. And the last aspect as far as discrimination is concerned for persons of colors in this country is job security. Again, many employers, if they intend to cut down on jobs, or rather they intend to cut down on employees in a company, non-native English speakers or persons of colors are usually the ones affected. The first thing they will think to do is to let you go because one, you are not of higher demand. You are not a white teacher. Two, you are a non-native English speaker. You're down the pecking order, so it's automatic that they will let you go. Again, do not worry much about this situation. If an employer refuses to renew your contract or breach the terms of your contract before completion, see how you're managing the situation and move on. Do not cry or bother much about it because you can't fight. This is not your country. There is no way, absolutely no way you are going to wage a war against a Thai person and you expect to win if you are a foreigner, more to that a person of color. I hope these few tips helps you to like brace yourself as far as working in the kingdom is concerned. And all these points I've mentioned are centers within employment. You might also witness little discrimination as far as the social aspect of life is concerned in the kingdom. For example, don't be surprised that if you go out to travel, you may see Thais who will refuse to sit close to you. Like I earlier mentioned, it boils down to the cultural perception. Anything that is dark is attributed to poverty. This shouldn't bother you. Some of them might even go as far as covering their nostrils because they are of the opinion that people of color smells. Everybody has a unique body odor. Your body odor might appear stronger to someone and this might irritate them. Again, maybe your body spray or roll-on might appear stronger to somebody and make this person uncomfortable. There are many reasons why they will behave like that. It doesn't necessarily mean that you smell or you have body odor, no. But expect this kind of situation, especially in public transport like BTS, the Sky Trains in Bangkok. Maybe you're in a public van. Expect this trend. When you sit, people wouldn't want to come close to you. Do not bother. Smile over it. I mean, your royalty, the fact that you get to sit alone in a car seat, a bus seat, or a train seat implies that your royalty. Instead of being negative about the whole situation, have fun with it, enjoy it. I've been in Thailand here for 8 years, and I must admit it's not easy for a first timer to accept these experiences, or should I call it challenges, in the beginning. It might take a while for you to fully blend in. And I've equally come across others who couldn't bear the situation and they gave up. They moved out of the country. Yeah, there are people that wouldn't tolerate such things. They'll move out. But like I said, it boils down to your focus, what you want. If you intend to really stay in the country and make something good for yourself, then you have to look for the way to accept this situation and live with it. I am here. All these points I'm mentioning, I've experienced it. And I'm still okay. In fact, it makes me stronger. Know your environment, know how people behave, and you live much more comfortable. And I must emphasize, not everyone in the kingdom will display such behaviors. Not every employer as well will display such attitude. No. There are some ties that are well exposed. You will never see them doing this. They know how to relate with a foreigner. They will never show this tendency of discrimination or bias. No. It equally applies to your employer. There are some Thai bosses that are quite good. They know how to relate with people. When you come across these persons, you enjoy your stay here. And not everyone has been unfortunate enough to like have these experiences. There are some teachers who come over and everything in the kingdom as far as employment and social life is concerned has been smooth. They have a level ground, like they were fortunate to get employed in a good school, good staffs, good and supportive colleagues, and wherever they are living, Thais, they are very, very supportive. If you happen to find yourself in this situation, say thank you to God. Amen to it. It means you're fortunate. However, there are others that might not be fortunate and they may find themselves in this difficult situation, and they have to see how to survive. And I want to digress a little. The issue of overstay, if you're someone that is new, with time you get to realize that most of the people you come across, whites included, they, there are some of them that live in the kingdom without visas. This overstay issue is caused by so many reasons, among which is this employment issue which I mentioned, especially for people of color. If you end up losing your job, maybe it's difficult for you to secure a new job. You may end up having overstay. You can't renew your visa, you overstay the present visa, and you can conveniently go out to apply for a new visa because you are out of finance. There are so many reasons why people find themselves in this situation. Try to hustle and make sure you don't fall in a situation where you live in the kingdom illegally. And the next part of this live session today, which I mentioned, is salary, salary disparity. Again, if you go through recruitment sites in the kingdom, like I mentioned, you'll notice that most schools want native English speakers or white teachers. White teachers, they are of high demand as compared to non-native or persons of color. And that equally applies to the salary. The scale is not balanced. White native speakers, they always have higher paid package as compared to persons of colors. However, international schools do pay well, like they don't bother much about your color if you're qualified, even if you're from sub-Saharan Africa, as long as you have the qualification and you can clearly express yourself, they will pay you the money. Yeah, these are the types of employers, most international schools that focus on skill, raw skill and qualification. They are not bothered about your nationality or skin tone. So you have to always think positively and hope that wherever you are, there shouldn't be any discriminatory practices. And as far as the salary disparity is concerned, sometimes these schools give less amount to non-native speakers or persons of color for a reason. If you look at your currency back home as compared to somebody from Europe or America, you realize that Thai baht has very little value as compared to dollars or euro. Hence, explaining why they may end up having a higher paid package, because this money is nothing as compared to their home country. But for many Africans, Indians, Filipinos, Thai baht has value back home. The government, employers in this kingdom, they are aware of this situation, and this is a major factor as far as deciding what to pay you is concerned. Think about this, because if you want to balance the scale, if you are a non-native from Philippines and you're making 25,000, or a non-native from Cameroon in Africa, Ghana, Kenya, you're making 25, you're better off as compared to a native English speaker from England, America, who is making 35,000 Thai baht. Yeah, you're better off, because that money, if converted to dollars or euro, it's nothing as compared to the value that that same amount, or 25,000, we have for you back home. Accept what is offered to you. Weigh the situation. If you think the workload is too much for that amount, then you might want to say no. But if you think it's something that you can do, then accept whatever amount is being offered to you and try to work and move on. Remember, nothing good comes easy. Over time, when you live in the kingdom, you gain experience. You understand how the situation is, and it will be easy for you to move from one job to the other. It will be easy for you to decide on how much you want to accept as salary in any job that you find yourself in. And another point I want to hit hard on as far as this issue of skin tone is concerned is that when you get older living in the kingdom, your chances of gaining employment becomes much more slimmer. Yeah, It's easier to see older white teachers teaching here as compared to older persons of color. I challenge you, how many older African teachers or Filipino teachers or Indians have you seen in Thai schools? Leave a comment in the comment section below if you want to like argue this fact. I challenge you to go around. How many? Very few. But it's common to see older teachers in many schools in the kingdom. A white guy of 50 and above is still actively working as compared to you, a person of color who is a non-native English speaker. So as long as you're working here, most schools will accept you because of your youthfulness. But as time goes on, you get much more older, your chances become slimmer. You may want to think to leave the country and look for somewhere else that might accept you and your age, or perhaps return home to live a comfortable life there. Again, there are always exceptions. If you have the right qualification, you decide to take further studies, and you happen to find yourself in places like universities or international school, you might end up working right to the age of retirement, which is 60. Whatever I'm saying here is based on experience, and it doesn't mean everything I say stays the same. No. Things change as time goes on, and truthfully, Thailand has really changed over the years, because in the previous years things were much more difficult as far as this racism issue is concerned. But now many of the Thais know how to manage their emotion. They know how to tolerate you. You might find yourself in a workplace where nobody likes your personality, but they can tolerate you because you're capable of doing what they employed you for. So that is a huge development. Hopefully, as time goes on, the country will fully accept the differences among people around the world. And the final issue, which I mentioned that I'll discuss in today's live session, is visa application. Normally, once you come into the kingdom, it's but normal that you come in here with tourist visa as a visitor into the kingdom. But the ultimate aim in your mind is to end up having employment. You have to be aware of this visa situation, because it's quite tricky. With tourist visa, you have approximately 90 days to live in the country. During this period, you are expected to look for a job, and you're equally expected to like change your status and obtain a work permit and visa extension in the long run. It's a whole process doing this, but the good news is your potential employer is solely responsible for this. The school that employs you should provide you with the right documents for you to go out and apply for a non-B visa. That's the first thing you need to think of. And there are different documents that they will have to provide for you to go out and do this. So you shouldn't bother much. Once the school accepts you, on your part, what you have to do is for you to provide copies of all your documents. You think of your qualification, copies of your passport, copies of your present visa, police clearance, that is security background check, and other stuffs like photos, medical report. And the school on their part, they have documents that they have to provide, like your contract or the school operation license, copies of the director's ID, or map of the school indicating the location of the school, and a host of other documents that you need to take to any nearby Thai embassy to apply for a non-immigrant B visa. That is the right visa that allows you to live and work in the kingdom. Requirements for non-B visa application is quite lengthy. We do another video on that separately and upload to my channel. If your focus is on that, then hold on. In my next upload, I'll talk about these requirements and share with you guys, so that you know exactly what you're doing before heading out for visa application. And you can decide to apply for a non-B either in Vientiane, that is Laos, at the Thai embassy in Vientiane, or you can go to Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur or Penang to apply for a non-B there at the Thai embassy over there. Or preferably, you can go to Nigeria, Abuja, to apply for a Thai visa there, that is non-B. If you are African, it might take longer if you go to Vientiane. The fact is, the Thai embassy in Vientiane, Laos takes longer time in processing non-B visa for African applicants. If you need to make the process much more easier, go to Nigeria, Abuja. Flight, cost of flight is expensive, but then if you have the money, it's worth it. Go there, pay high, spend $1,000 and get your visa the next day in Nigeria. In Malaysia as well, if you are lucky, all your documents are right, it might take you just a day or two and you get the visa and get back into Thailand. But if you find yourself in Vientiane, it will take longer. Do not go there, please. I wouldn't advise you to go to Vientiane unless you have all the time to do that. Go to Nigeria or Malaysia. Once you have the non-B, you come back into the kingdom. The school will move ahead with the second process, which is applying for your teacher's waiver, that's temporary teacher's license at the level of Krusapa. Once they give you that license, you are okay to apply for a work permit and eventual visa extension in the kingdom. And the cost of work permit is 3,100, and cost for visa extension is 1,900. In total, 5,000 Thai baht. Most employers will want teachers to like shoulder these financial responsibilities, like you have to take care of the cost of your flight to apply for non-B out of the kingdom. When you come back, you equally have to pay for your work permit fee and visa extension fee. If they tell you to do this, do not be surprised and do not bother much, because it's okay. By law, you should do that. Again, there are other schools that might feel the need to help you. They may decide to pay for the cost of your work permit and visa extension, which is 5,000. But going out of the kingdom to apply for non-B, many schools wouldn't do that. You have to shoulder the responsibility by yourself, or even if they want to help you, whatever amount of money they are giving you as support will be given as loan, like you borrow this amount, or should I say an upfront payment. When you return into the country, they will definitely deduct this amount from your salary. That is it. Everything you need to know about living and working in Thailand. I hope this information I've shared helps you to prepare yourself for life in Thailand. And I equally hope it helps you to secure a job that suits your needs and personalities. Have fun. Enjoy the time here. Until then, see you next time. Bye.